Hi guys, how are you going? It's Brooklyn here from the Business Unleashed tribe. I hope you're all having a fantastic Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday today, isn't it? Just going to share this video. I hope you've all been having a wonderful time and doing some amazing things with your businesses. And I'm so excited to talk to you today about the role of neurohacking and how you can use it to up level your business. So have you ever wondered why two people can experience the same situation or the same event, yet recall it differently? You know, we see this a lot with things like eyewitness testimony, which used to be considered, you know, the gold standard for evidence back in the day, but we know now that, you know, we can have 100 people experience the same thing but take something different away from it, and there's a reason for that. So we've got neural pathways, and neural pathways are kind of, hey Jen, I'm glad it's up here early. I've taken notes, of course. I'm reading my notes while I'm talking. Neural pathways are often described as kind of a superhighway of nerve cells, and the function of these superhighways of nerve cells is to transmit messages. Just like walking along a track in the bush, the more you walk over it, the more trodden and clear it becomes. The same thing happens when we engage in behaviors or we think certain thoughts in repetitive ways. You see, the brain consumes between 20 and 30% of the caloric burn of our body at rest. It uses so much energy because it's so complex, and so it's needed to evolve and adapt in order to automate various processes as a way of conserving energy. So this is why and how regular thoughts become habits, or things that we seemingly do without a great deal of conscious thought. So think about something like brushing your teeth. It's a simple enough exercise that we do every single day. You don't even think about it. But what if I asked you to try and brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand? From that point forward, you're going to need to really be consciously aware of the movement of brushing your teeth up and down, or even applying the toothpaste to the toothbrush. It's hard at first because it's unfamiliar, and you're going to have to rewire your brain in order to be able to do it. So now you've got an idea in really general terms about how neural pathways work and their function. So then we can start to look at beliefs that we all have. So perhaps you're familiar with the famous metaphor of the iceberg, where the tip of the iceberg represents conscious thought and everything below the waterline represents subconscious thought. Easy to remember, sub for submarine, so it's below the waterline there. So the subconscious mind holds all of our beliefs, many of which we acquired as we were growing up. The function of a belief, in part, is to help make sense of the world around us. It creates a filter for our brain to receive information. It helps our brain store, interpret, and recall information picked up from the world around us by our senses. So by touch, taste, sight, smell, and our ears, everything that we hear. So in order for a thought, which occurs in our conscious mind, to pass through down into a belief system, it just has to be repeated. So it's this repetition that will allow a naturally occurring neural pathway to be created. So here's an example. Let's imagine that growing up, you heard your parents say things to you like, you have to work really hard to get ahead. You heard it a lot. Now imagine that you too now hold the belief, without even realizing it, that you have to work really hard, and maybe you apply it even to money. So you work really long hours nearly every day. This affects your marriage. It stops you from seeing your friends because now you're busy at work. You're often irritable and grumpy because you feel like you're working really hard and there's a lot of pressure to make money. If you hold a belief that you have to work hard to get the money, then that's what's going to show up in your reality, because your subconscious mind is giving you this filter based on your beliefs. Okay, sometimes beliefs are really healthy and other times they work against us. And the good news is that there's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system, or the RAS. And so the role of the reticular activating system is to actively seek out any information that you tell it to. So it's really important when we're doing things like setting goals, we're visualizing, we're imagining, we're setting an intention, because it's the RAS that's going to go out and it's going to try and change that filter for us by bringing in new information. So your RAS can be your greatest asset. It transmits information between your conscious and your subconscious mind, and all the beautiful thing about it is that it does not question you at all. Okay, so whatever you tell it, it's going to believe, because it doesn't distinguish between fact and fiction. It simply obeys commands from your conscious mind. So this is very important when you're trying to run a business and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what are my blocks here? What are my limiting beliefs? And you're actively trying to change them. You tell the RAS that you want to look for different things. And this is why the gratitude work is so important in manifesting and in raising your vibration, because what we focus on grows, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in law of attraction or not. It's simple psychology as well, just saying. If I focus only on negative things, I'm going to see more negative things, because I hold a belief that the world's negative, or my business is full of negativity or bad experience. So my RAS, my mind is going to be looking out for all of those bad things to deliver to me, because my RAS is saying, oh, well, Brooklyn has a belief that things are all negative, so I'm going to go out and retrieve all of the negative things and bring them back to her, because that's what she's looking for. If I say, well, I want to change that by focusing on all of the good things that I have in my business, my clients, my mentees, my programs, the money that's coming in, the premises that I get to work in every day. If I start showing gratitude and look for all the things that I'm thankful for, my mind's going to bring me more of those things, because I'm starting to change my filter. So it's like kind of really cool. But changing your beliefs does take time and it takes practice. It's not something you can do overnight. The pathway is different for everybody. Some people get really fantastic results through doing things like journaling, visualizing, fantasizing, using your imagination. So, if you haven't had a positive experience in business, because you're just new to business, you're an entrepreneur, you haven't got your first client yet, you can't visualize them, because visualizing requires you to draw upon past experience. So you'd be imagining what you think it might be like to have that really positive encounter. A really quick way, though, of bypassing all of that time is through things like hypnosis. It's super effective at speeding up changing beliefs, because it goes almost directly down to the subconscious mind. It crosses that barrier, it crosses that waterline, if you like, from the iceberg that I was talking about before. So when you change your beliefs by redirecting your conscious thought, you can also change your filter. And when you change your filter, you change your experience of your business, which is what we're all aiming for, right? Those of us who are working on our businesses. So there's so many wonderful things that you can do with neurohacking. And apart from what I've already mentioned, something that I do is I do listen to hypnosis at nighttime, and I also write my own affirmations. And so I make sure that I look at them a lot. But it is hard work. You do have to apply yourself. It takes conscious effort to do this, but you can do it. And guys, if you're not already in the Business Unleashed tribe on Facebook, you should absolutely get yourself over there, because every single day we put up new posts. There's competitions. There's, tonight I'm announcing the winner of the Business Breakthrough for February. So there's so much stuff happening in there. We've got a challenge coming up soon that I haven't told the tribe about yet, but I'll tell them about shortly. Anyway, if you have any questions on neural hacking, if you want to know more, please just ask. Or if you have some tips of your own about neural hacking, I'm sure everybody would love to hear them and see them. So do feel free to share them. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've really loved having your company. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.